Hello, you are on the Alice Reddit Stories channel. More than 90% watch my videos without a subscription. Subscribe to the channel so we always stay in touch. Enjoy watching. I've fallen in love with the husband of the woman my husband is cheating on me with. I'm F36 and my husband is M38. We have been together for 10 years. We have one daughter who's F6. She's everything to me. I found out a year ago that my husband is sleeping with his employee, F30. How? Her husband, let's call him J, M35, contacted me. He was heartbroken and he thought that I ought to know. He provided me with text messages and dated when they've been in hotels. I recognized my husband's style and I recognized the other woman. I have seen her on multiple occasions when I visited my husband at work. She'd been nothing but kind and pleasant towards me, and she always doted on my daughter. I asked Jay what he wanted to do and he said that he wasn't sure yet, so I requested that we should meet. He agreed. I told him about my life and that I'm currently not working after the pandemic. I lost my job and now the economy, I haven't really had any opportunity to find job. Instead, I've been studying these past 2 years. If I divorce now, I won't be able to provide for my daughter. That would probably put her in my husband's custody as a primary provider. I asked him if he could wait for a few months, hopefully longer therefore, and to my surprise he agreed. I thanked him profusely, but he told me that he didn't know what to do either, so he's happy to wait. Also, the other woman has 3 children from a previous relationship and he was worried that she would refuse him being in their lives once he confronted her because he's not the father. We kept in touch, however. He called me a few times a week and soon we started to talk about other things other than our failed marriages. Afterwards we started going for walks, coffee, movies, etc. I found myself thinking about him often with a smile on my face. He was the first thing I thought of in the morning and the last thing I thought of before going to bed. For the last 3 to 4 months we probably mentioned our spouses 1 or twice. We talk about everything else. And he always makes me laugh. He thinks I'm funny too, smiley face. 2 weeks ago we were having a picnic and he just blurted out, "I think that I'm in love with you." When he then explained himself, it just drove the point home that I also am in love with him. He said that at first he wasn't sure why he was feeling like this towards me and explained it away as 2 jilted people finding comfort in each other, but that he then realized that he wasn't broken anymore. That he even thinks of his wife's infidelity as a blessing because it led him to me. That was exactly how I felt too. I didn't know what to say. I told him that I'm terrified that these are false feelings that would go away once we've freed ourselves from those who hurt us. He just beamed at me and said he was willing to take the risk just to find out. He kissed my hand because I thought we were still married, and if we did something then how are we better than are so? I don't know what to do now. I find myself daydreaming about him. About introducing him to my daughter. Kiss him. Wake up next to him every morning. I still have 1 semester left and then I'm probably going to find a job. I've already had some offers for when I'm finished with my studies. I have thanked Jay so many times for being so patient with me about everything. I appreciate that he's waiting for me to put my life in order before we expose our spouses who aren't really seeing each other as often as they used to do. He told me he's happy to help and he just wants a real kiss as a thank you when everything is over. My goal now is to secure my job and leave this marriage. Am I pathetic for wanting to give Jay and I a shot and see where it would go? Can 2 broken hearts really find happiness together when their love story started like ours? Hi again. This is not an update. Since nothing new has happened in my life. But I've been feeling so down lately and my emotions are all over the place. Hopefully this post will help me sort out my feeling. I'm sorry if you find it confusing, but this is how I'm feeling right now. Confusion. Also, I'm sorry, but it's going to be a long and bumpy ride like my last one. I'm still busy with my studies. especially now so close to the holidays. Thereafter I'm going to have a break until January 16th and the start of my last semester. I have got 2 job offers. One with unpaid internship starting in April. I like this job very much since I would be working from my laptop most of the days. The other one is more of an office job, but with better pay. I don't know how the custody arrangement is going to be, but I feel like a job with more flexible hours is a better fit for me. The reason why I'm writing now is that Jay and I met yesterday. If you remember my last, we decided not to see each other, at least not as often, since the I love you talk. We did good keeping that promise, but we still saw each other once since I wrote here, and we continued texting and calling each other on a daily basis. Yesterday we met on Jay's initiative. When I got to the park, to our usual meeting spot, Jay was already there. He had flowers, coffee and cake. I love cake, and he told me that we're going to have a little celebration. He said that today was the day we first met a year ago. Yes, it was. I remember that day very well. It was raining then too, but it was much gloomier. I remembered how broken and desperate I was. The feeling that my world had ended. We talked a lot about the progress we made and how much stronger we both felt now. He told me he loved me, and it was all I could do not to just fuck everything and jump into his arms. He is so lovely. When I got home, my husband had already picked up our daughter and they were just joking around and having fun. I felt so much sadness and pure horror building up inside me. What am I doing? What are we doing? All of us? The guilt that washed over me seeing my daughter's happy face playing around with her food. I couldn't take it. My husband and the other woman haven't texted at all this month, and they haven't met either, or at least as far as Jay and I know. Of course, they work together, so we don't know if the affair has subsided or that they just have learned to be more cautious, but my husband has been more attentive at home. Warmer and more present. He says he loves me all the time and that he misses me. I haven't been intimate with him since I found out about the affair, and even the smallest touch from him irks me, and any beautiful word or compliment from him sets my teeth on edge. I just want to scream liar, and I feel like I'm cheating on Jay. Accepting my husband's affection and the disdain for myself becomes unbearable. Make this make sense. Please. I looked at my husband and tried to remember what I loved about him, but I couldn't. All I could see is his texts to her, about how great last time was and what he wanted to do to her next. All the things he once said he wanted to do and did to me that made me feel so special. I tried to think harder about the love, but all I saw was Jay's face. I felt immense rage and hatred towards my husband, but also towards myself and Jay. My husband because he broke us and brought this mess upon us, and myself because I felt that I wasn't trying hard enough with my heart occupied with someone else. Have I just given up so easily because I loved Jay? And my daughter? She is the one who's going to pay the hard price of seeing her home break, because daddy is a selfish, greedy cheater and mommy isn't trying hard enough to save her marriage when she is pining for another man. I couldn't control my feelings of anger and resentment and guilt, so I wrote Jay a long text telling him all this and more. He tried to call me, but I couldn't answer him. My heart was swollen in my throat. I told my husband that I wanted sleep in my daughter's room tonight, something I've been doing a lot since this all started. I cried all night watching her beautiful face, so peaceful and happy. This morning Jay called me again and we talked for over an hour. He was very subdued and I heard the fear in his voice. He told me that he respected my wishes in taking a break from each other, but also to remember that even when I was at my weakest I still knew exactly what I wanted, and that I chose to stay to secure a future for myself and my daughter. You're too close now to your goal just to stumble and fall. He said he loved me and that he never felt like this before. And that he will wait. I cried for a good hour afterwards, already missing his voice. I know that my marriage is unsalvageable and that I'm doing the right thing leaving it, even with the nagging feeling of guilt that's simmering beneath the surface. boiling over every now and then, waking me up at night, but I need to do this alone now. I want to look back with no regrets. The guilt will probably never going to go away entirely, but at least it won't have Jay's face now he's not in the picture anymore. So that's what's been up with my life. I told you that it wasn't an update really, and I'm sorry that it is long and confusing, but that's all I have right now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, there are a lot of interesting stories ahead of you.